You open your eyes for the first time and congratulations. You're 3 feet tall, your feet are covered in fur, and your life's greatest aspiration is supposed to be growing the fattest pumpkin in the neighborhood. Welcome to the Shire. You're a hobbit. Half the height of a man, twice the appetite, and absolutely none of the ambition. Your people have perfected the art of doing nothing spectacular. No wars, no quests, no kings to serve or dragons to slay. Just rolling green hills, round wooden doors, and the sacred ritual of second breakfast. Your home is a hole in the ground. But a nice hole. Warm, cozy, filled with the smell of fresh bread and pipeweed. You have a pantry stocked for 6 meals a day. 7, if you count the midnight cheese raid. Your calendar marks harvest festivals, not battles. Your idea of danger is a bee near the jam. You grow up learning the important things. How to smoke a pipe without coughing. How to judge a neighbor's tomatoes with the perfect blend of envy and passive aggression. How to avoid anything that seems remotely adventurous. Because adventures are what happen to other people. Tall people. People with swords and prophecies and tragic backstories. You have a vegetable garden and strong opinions about potatoes. The outside world exists, technically. Somewhere beyond the borders there are elves, dwarves, wizards, and darkness. But that's not your concern. The Shire is protected, safe, forgotten by history on purpose. You smile at the sunset from your little hill. Life is simple, predictable, eternal. Then a tall man in gray robes knocks on your door. He calls himself a wizard. He smiles too much. He speaks of adventure like it's a gift and not a death sentence. He scratches a strange mark on your door and leaves. The next evening, dwarves start arriving. They eat everything in your pantry. They sing about gold and dragons and reclaiming kingdoms. They look at you like you're part of the plan. You're not a warrior. You're not a burglar. You're a hobbit who's never missed a meal. But the wizard chose you. And in Middle-earth, when a wizard chooses you, the universe doesn't ask for your opinion. Your comfortable hole in the ground suddenly feels like a grave you haven't climbed into yet. Lucky you. The quest begins and you learn your first lesson immediately. You are the least useful member of this group. The Fellowship of the Ring assembles like a fantasy dream team. Aragorn, a ranger who's secretly a king. Legolas, an elf who shoots arrows like breathing. Gimli, a dwarf who treats his axe like a lover. Gandalf, a wizard who can summon fire and wisdom in equal measure. Boromir, a warrior built for war. And you, a hobbit, carrying snacks and existential dread. Your weapon is courage. Unfortunately, courage doesn't block swords. You have a small blade that glows blue near orcs, which is less tactical advantage and more, here's a nightlight to watch your death approach, but you carry something else. Something worse. The One Ring. A golden circle that weighs almost nothing and somehow crushes your soul. It whispers. Not words exactly, more like feelings wrapped in shadows. Wear me. Use me. Keep me. At first, you ignore it. Easy. You're a hobbit. You've resisted the temptation of a second dessert before. This is different. The ring doesn't scream. It suggests. It finds the cracks in your mind you didn't know existed and pours itself inside. Every mile you walk, it gets heavier. Not physically, spiritually, like dragging your own future corpse behind you. And you walk, endlessly, barefoot. Your companions have boots, armor, horses. You have leathery soles and generational trauma about leaving the Shire. Mountains tear your feet. Swamps try to swallow you whole. Snow buries you up to your chest while the tall folk wade through like a mild inconvenience. Moria comes next. An ancient dwarf kingdom turned mass grave. You descend into darkness so thick your glowing sword feels like a joke. The walls echo with things that haven't seen sunlight in centuries. Then, goblin drums. The sounds of thousands of creatures who consider you a light appetizer. You always run. Your friends fight with elegance and fury. You scramble like a terrified rabbit with a magic ring. The Balrog rises, a demon of fire and shadow that makes dragons look like pets. Gandalf falls. Your wizard, your guide, the one person who seemed to have a plan. Gone. You escape Moria lighter by one member and heavier by infinite grief. But the ring doesn't care. The ring never cares. It keeps whispering. Lothlorien offers rest. Elves with timeless faces and architecture that looks like a dream. You sleep in silver trees and eat food that tastes like starlight. For one moment, you remember what peace felt like. The Lady Galadriel looks into your eyes and shows you the future. Fire. Destruction. The Shire burning. Everyone you love in chains, unless you succeed. No pressure for the 3-foot-tall creature with hairy feet. The Fellowship breaks at Aemon Hen. Boromir tries to take the ring, not because he's evil, but because the ring makes good men into desperate animals. He dies defending your kin, arrows in his chest, regret in his eyes. You realize the truth. The ring destroys everyone near it. Carrying it isn't bravery, it's quarantine, so you leave. Just you and Sam, your gardener, your friend, the only person whose loyalty the ring can't corrupt. 2 hobbits walking toward Mordor. No army, no wizard, no plan beyond don't die immediately. The dead marshes stretch before you like a graveyard made liquid. Corpses float beneath the surface, faces frozen in ancient screams. One wrong step, and you join them forever. You wade through the rotting memory of a war fought before your grandparents were born. Then, you meet him. Gollum. A creature that was once a hobbit. Centuries ago, he found the ring. It gave him long life. It took everything else. His name, his mind, his ability to exist in sunlight without hissing. He crawls like a spider, talks to himself in 2 voices, and looks at the ring the way starving animals look at meat. He is your guide now. He is also your mirror. Every time you catch him stroking the air where the ring used to hang around his neck, you see your future. This is what the ring does. Not quickly, slowly. It hollows you out over years until nothing remains but hunger and hatred. You're already changing. Sam sees it. The moments where your hand drifts to your pocket without thinking. The flashes of suspicion toward your only friend. The voice that sounds like yours but isn't telling you to keep the precious things safe. The ring is patient. It has time. You don't. Mordor finally appears on the horizon. A land where the sky is made of smoke, and the ground is made of despair. Mount Doom rises like a monument to everything terrible in the world. And you need to climb it. Barefoot, while carrying an object that actively wants you to fail. The Black Gate holds armies that could crush nations. Sauron's eye sweeps the land like a searchlight powered by malice. Nazgûl circle overhead, hunting you. You are so small. The mountain is so tall. Sam carries you the final stretch. Your body has surrendered, but your gardener hasn't. He lifts you onto his back and climbs through ash and fire because hobbits don't abandon each other, even when the world is ending. You reach the crack of doom. Lava churns below. One throw, one moment of strength. Drop the ring and save everything. You hold it over the fire, and you can't. The ring has won. After all those miles, all that suffering, all those friends who died believing in you. The ring simply says no, and your hand obeys. You put it on instead. Gollum saves the world by accident. He bites off your finger, dances with his precious for one ecstatic second, and tumbles into the fire. The ring melts. Sauron falls. Mordor collapses. You saved Middle-earth. You just weren't strong enough to do it yourself. You come home a hero. The problem is no one knows it. The Shire looks exactly the same. Green hills, round doors, hobbits arguing about property lines and the proper thickness of cream on scones. Children play in the same fields. Smoke rises from the same chimneys. The pub serves the same ale to the same faces telling the same stories. Nothing changed. You changed. You walk through the market and neighbors wave like you've been on a long holiday. Back from your trip then? Lovely weather we've been having. They ask about your missing finger with polite curiosity, like you lost it in a gardening accident. You could tell them the truth, that a corrupted hobbit bit it off inside an erupting volcano while you were saving their entire existence. But what's the point? They'd nod, offer you a scone, and return to discussing tomato prices. Middle-earth was saved by hobbits. The history books will credit men and elves. Kings will receive songs. Your name might appear in a footnote, misspelled. The celebrations feel like funerals now. Birthdays. Harvest festivals. Weddings. Everyone laughing, drinking, dancing. And you stand in the corner, smile painted on, wondering why the music sounds so far away. You learn to smile during the quest. A survival mechanism. Orcs don't chase you if you look harmless. Trauma doesn't surface if you keep your face pleasant. You smile constantly now. It means nothing. Nightmares visit every evening without fail. The eye of Sauron burning through your sleep. Gollum's fingers around your throat. The whisper of a ring that no longer exists, but somehow never stopped talking. You wake up reaching for your pocket, grasping at gold that melted years ago. Sam plants gardens. Merry and Pippin tell war stories at pubs, turning horror into entertainment. They adapted. They moved forward. You're stuck at the crack of doom, holding a ring over fire, failing forever. The wound from the Morgul blade never fully heals. Every anniversary of that stabbing, cold spreads through your shoulder like winter has colonized your bones. Elven medicine bought you time. It didn't buy you peace. You start writing. A book. Your story. Maybe putting words on paper will pull the memories out of your skull and trap them somewhere safer. You write about Gandalf, about Gollum, about the weight of something that weighed almost nothing. You call it an adventure because psychological destruction doesn't fit the title. The pages fill. The nightmares stay. Years pass. The Shire prospers. Your friends marry, have children, grow old with the comfortable predictability you once treasured. You watch from increasing distance. A ghost haunting his own life. Present at every gathering. Absent in every way that matters. Then the invitation comes. The Grey Havens. A ship sailing west to the Undying Lands. The place where elves go to exist beyond time. Where wounds heal and memory softens. It's not meant for mortals. But exceptions exist. You earned an exception by carrying the ring. Your reward for nearly losing your soul is permission to leave everything behind. Standing at the harbor, you look at Sam one final time. Your gardener, your carrier. The friend who saw you at your worst and chose loyalty anyway. He's crying. You might be too. It's hard to tell anymore. The ship pulls away. The Shire shrinks into the horizon. Green hills become a smudge, then a memory, then nothing. You don't know what waits in the west. Healing, supposedly. Rest. An end to the whispers that still echo in your skull. Or maybe you'll stand on immortal shores, surrounded by ageless elves, still reaching for a ring that doesn't exist, still failing at a mountain that crumbled years ago. Heroes in songs slay dragons and marry royalty. They return triumphant, celebrated, whole. You return broken, forgotten, sailing toward a paradise you're not sure you deserve. Being a hobbit was supposed to be simple. 7 meals. Hairy feet. A hole in the ground filled with warmth and laughter and the complete absence of destiny. Instead, you got a ring. A quest and a soul that never quite came back from Mordor. The Shire will remember you as the odd Baggins who went on an adventure and came back strange. Middle-earth will forget you entirely. And somewhere, in the quiet moments before sleep, you'll always wonder, was the world worth saving if you couldn't save yourself?